Salute to everybody in the building. Hit that like button as you come on in. Hit that like button as you come on in. If you're catching the replay, hit the like button. We got to talk about something, man. We got to talk about Jaron Boots Ennis and what should he do next. Because now all eyes are on Boots. And since this fight with Teofimo Lopez got entertained to some degree, now boxers fans trying to see what it do and what it be. Hit that like button as you come on in. We got to talk about Jaron real quick, man. We got to talk about Boots and Teofimo, man. Because it seemed like a lot of people got kind of, I don't know. I don't know where this stuff comes from sometimes. It be the most random videos that seem like I did the wrong thing, right? It seemed like the most random videos or shorts or clips go viral. It's just crazy how this shit works. But people seem to be under the impression that I only wanted this thing to go one way as far as Boots fight him or don't fight him. I said if he do, cool. If he don't, cool. Right? Because part of me want to see Teofimo get beat up. And if Teofimo gets beat up, you know, top rank probably, wants him up out of there. They probably sick of him. You know, he burned a lot of bridges. It'd probably be the end of Teofimo Lopez, right? And normally I'm not one for a guy, just hitting rock bottom that bad, right? But that's just the reality of the situation. Teofimo Lopez burned a lot of bridges with a lot of guys. He'll probably start slithering his way to matchroom boxing. Or Jaron just don't fight him at all. And, all the other black fighters freeze him out. Because the rumor is Devin Haney wants a lot of money to fight him. That's just a rumor. I'm not sure how true that is. But he apparently wants a shit ton of money. Probably the number that Turkey's not even willing to pay. Salute to everybody in the building. Salute to Hollow Ninja for the super chat. He says, shoot up box till you turn it, we keep going, man. That's right, bro. We gonna keep going. And we gonna have another Canelo versus Crawford debate. Hopefully some guys show up this um, weekend for this show. Because there's some guys on Facebook that I've been cool with for some years that's leaning towards Canelo. And I want to see if they got a strong argument on how Canelo's gonna win besides him being a heavier guy, right? Give me something besides this dude being a heavier guy or him just knocking Crawford out, right? So we're going to save some of that for later on this week. But in other boxing news, what happened in boxing? Real quick before we continue talking about this, wait till some more people get in here. But what happened in boxing? Um, really nothing. Really nothing outside of the Teofimo Lopez, Jaron Boots Ennis situation. Oh, Floyd Schofield is now going to be fighting Tevin Farmer. That's just kind of broke news. Not necessarily. I guess this is a good fight for Floyd Schofield in his development process, right? That's a good fight for him. I guess one would say Tevin Farmer is now a journeyman. You know what I'm saying? He's a journeyman. He already had like a journeyman like record, but he was a world caliber, world class fighter at one point in time. Then the politics kicked in. We haven't seen him for a while. Started losing fights, getting short notice fights, getting the bad end of some decisions. Um, but Tevin Farmer, you can make a lot of money being a good journeyman. You know what I'm saying? You can make a lot of good money if you're a solid journeyman, like Gamboa was for the longest time. Dude riding in Rolls Royces, right? So yeah, you can make a lot of good money being a journeyman that was once a world champion or whatever the case may be. So that's next. Um, hold on, man. I gotta get this StreamYard stuff together. You said Jerron would do whatever a hype job would do. So y'all believe that? I don't know, man. Seem like a lot of y'all don't like Boots, and Boots don't make it easy, man. It was easy being a Crawford fan. Crawford made it really easy being a fan, bro. Unless you just didn't like the guy for whatever reason, it was really easy being a Crawford fan. He wasn't saying nothing that sounded cowardly, right? especially when he was a younger guy coming up. He didn't say nothing cowardly. He wasn't no underperforming or, if the money's right and all this other crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? He didn't really start saying nothing like that until he got to Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, he was, put him in front of me, I'm gonna knock him out. Old school. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, he smashed the like button for your boy, man. But with Drum Boots Ennis, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I like Boots though. You know what I'm saying? Seem like a lot of y'all don't like him, but I like Boots. But I got to call it how I see it too. You know what I'm saying? He got to. Eddie Hearn should have never came out and said that. He shouldn't have said that. You know what I'm saying? So now it's looking like you don't even want to smoke with T.O. When in reality, it could be a situation to where, well, Boots said, you know what? If I ain't really getting the unification fights to become undisputed, something that I can add to my belt, a notch to add to my accolades, well, then I might as well go to 54 because it's getting harder for me to make this weight. I'm getting closer to 30 now, and it's getting harder for me to make this 147. I've been here for a while. That could have been a narrative if Jerron Boots Ennis had a good PR person or somebody that could just go say the right things. But Eddie Hearn came out and said that he's concerned about underperforming. It's like, wait a minute, what? That's not something you're supposed to say, even if that is the truth. Certain things is supposed to be said behind closed doors, bro. That's not something that, like, if I was a manager or a promoter or a guy for a fighter, I would never come out and say nothing like that. Absolutely not. There ain't no way. So that's really bad on Eddie. Eddie be fucking up. You know what I'm saying? Eddie be messing up, bro. He shouldn't have said that if Boots Ennis decides to just move on up, um, then you know. But you was talking about he's concerned about underperforming and some shit. I guess he was concerned about underperforming at 47. You know what I'm saying? But when we say 147, we already know that means if you're gonna be at 47, you're not fighting on the champions, it's gonna likely be Teofimo. So you concerned about underperforming against Teofimo at a weight that you probably would struggle to make. Salute to Hollow Ninja for another super chat. He says, Floyd Schofield out here ducking smoke. They act like they fought Shakur already won. Don't know if it's the kid or his loudmouth father, man. I say it's a lot. I say it's his father, bro. It's his pops. You know what I'm saying? Floyd's still a young guy. In my eyes, he's still like a kid. And his father's kind of guiding his career. And his father's gonna do what's best for his son. His father's gonna protect his son, get him in the right fights, put him in the right situation. Floyd Schofield Sr. is doing exactly what a father should be doing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we may not like it, but as a father, what would you do? You know what I'm saying? Would you put him in there with a killer right now when your son do got potential to be something great later and make a lot of money, generational wealth for the family? Or would you just, put him in there? So you got to kind of look at it from that point of view. It was kind of weird how that whole situation played out. Him getting sick on a hospital bed out of nowhere. That was kind of strange and shit. But him fighting Tevin Farmer, I mean, I guess I see what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? I've been around long enough to know what's going on. And a lot of boxing fans who may not understand really what is a father-son duo, another one. And he's a young fighter. You know what I'm saying? Potential. His dad's go talk the talk, like a lot of the dad trainers do. And he's gonna try to push his son, attach his name to other fighters. His son can't talk, he ain't gonna do no talking. It's like Kenny and Sean Porter. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually, once Floyd Schofield reaches a certain point, then he may start putting him in there with the tougher fights. But right now, they go to build him up, bro. And then I think they just signed another 5-year deal with Golden Boy for $5 million. I don't know if that was a good idea, honestly. So that was kind of questionable in my opinion. I feel like Floyd Schofield, if he got the right fights at the right time, he could be making more than that. But for 5 years, $5 million for 5 years versus what? What was the fight they was offered? It was like $1 million for the fight or whatever. I'm like, well, I don't know, man. 5 years? Is it guaranteed $5 million for 5 years? If it was like $15 million for 5 years or something, okay, cool. But five, I don't know, man. Because I see potential in Floyd Schofield. But he could possibly make more. But I don't know. I think they locked in with that contract now though. Hold on, I can't do nothing with this StreamYard. I'm gonna upgrade StreamYard. They lowered the price. I'm gonna upgrade so it's gonna be better. So it won't be so plain Jane. Salute to Picasso for the super chat, man. We in the dojo. Yes, right, man. We in the dojo tonight, man. Y'all hit that like button for your boy. Salute to everybody, man. Hope everybody had a good week. Birthday coming up next week. Boy, birthday coming up next week, man. You said they should have left. I think so too, bro. I think they should have left Oscar as well, bro. What's up, OG Bobby Johnson? Salute. D Young, salute. Yeah, Eddie threw him under the bus, bro. Eddie threw him under the bus, dog. He did. Eddie Hearn threw Jaron Ennis under the bus with that statement. He should know better than to say some shit like that. To underperform. You can't say that. Especially after Jaron Boots Ennis just went through some heat with the Virgil thing and people kind of, his reputation isn't quite, boogeymanish. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep that shit intact, bro. His job was to keep that shit intact. You go talking about he worried about underperforming. Well, how dare you come out and say that? I'd be mad as hell if I was Bozy. But Boots Ennis can't clean this up. Go up to 54 and face one of the guys. Face one of the guys. Get the WBA belt, right? It might be vacated soon. He may end up fighting for the vacant WBA belt at 54. Once Bud moves, right? Um, and then he could go ahead and start unifying that division. Hop right on in there. Fight Bakaram. I think that's a dangerous fight. I think even YSM said that's a pretty dangerous fight. But yeah, who else? Virgil, of course, right? Then there's guys like Erickson Lubin. There's a lot of 154 has always been the murderer's row, in my opinion. There's always some really tough, good fighters there. They all can damn near beat each other. And guys like Virgil and Boots is going there. And Virgil already kind of got his thing going at 54, and now it's gonna be Boots' turn. I think Boots, if he ain't gonna fight T.O., he should just go to 54. If you ain't gonna fight him, you might as well just go to 54, dog. Cause you're gonna look like a skeleton soon, and you ain't gonna be no good in these fights. But see, Eddie Hearn didn't dress it that way. Eddie Hearn talking about he's concerned about underperforming. That's not something you really talk about in the public. You talk about that in the private. That's something you talk about when it's just you and the trainers and the team and shit. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't, I didn't really feel 100% of my last fight. I don't know. If I'm gonna do it, I want to make it mean something. You know what I'm saying? And I want to make sure I put up a really good performance, and I don't want to go up in there and not perform well against a bum like Tio. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be honest, Jaron Boots Ennis smokes Teofimo Lopez. I don't care what nobody says. There ain't nobody in the world can convince me that Teofimo stands a chance with this dude. And really, Timothy Bradley, what he was probably doing, right? Because I'm hearing Top Rank wants to get rid of this dude, honestly. But um, what Timothy Bradley probably was doing was probably trying to trick Ennis and them to just hop and rank to the fight so Top Rank could get rid of Tio. And now this is just what some guys is insinuating that Bradley is doing. Because, Bradley's a top ranked guy. He's a company man. Top ranked. Like, man, go ahead and say some shit to get some shit going to get T.O. up out of here, dude. Because there ain't no way in hell. They don't believe that Teofimo could beat Boots. And if they really cared about Teofimo as a fighter, if they wanted to protect their fighter, they ought to keep him away from a guy like Jaron Ennis, honestly. But then again, they make it also see it as Drum Boots Ennis. We could probably catch him before he moving up, just like they tried, just like Tank did Barrios. Except Tank put a rehydration clause on Barrios, but catch him before he's moving up while he's kind of weakened. You know what I'm saying? When he's on the last legs at that weight class. This is what fighters do too. This is part of the fucking game. You know what I'm saying? These dudes be doing stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Little catching the guy before he move up because you know he on his last legs at the weight class. And this is what Drum Boots Ennis is probably dealing with right now. He's on his last legs at 47. So if I'm gonna stick down here at this weight, then I'm gonna make it's gotta be worth something. It's gotta be for a unification fight or something big. Teofimo Lopez, he was talking shit and shit, but he really don't deserve no fucking payday with his punk ass, right? So I don't know. I'm going to 54, man. Fuck it. Start my next chapter there. You said Boots versus Tio, a very entertaining fight. Oh yeah, it's definitely an entertaining fight, bro. That's a very entertaining fight on paper. I don't see it necessarily even being a boring fight because both guys are pretty fun fighters to watch. So that's actually a really good fight, man. But Boots is on his last legs at that weight. Now, of course, now Tio and the Tio fans and all that, they're gonna say, well, Boots Ennis ducked Teofimo. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's gonna look like to the general public. Because John Boots Ennis don't seem to have a strong fan base to kind of combat that shit. Right? So that's gonna be the narrative. And then of course the Virgil situation is still lingering. So Boots Ennis gonna have to clean all that shit up. And the only way he can really do it is to go up to 54 and fight somebody that fans care about or know about. Yeah, yeah, it's tough, bro. He should just go ahead and move up, man. I think he should just move up at this point. You know what I'm saying? I think he should just go ahead and move up, man. Because if Tio don't get the fight, good, so what? At the really, you know what I'm saying? It's not like it's gonna be like, oh man, I really want to see that fighter. I mean, I do want to see dude get his ass kicked, but somebody else go kick his ass. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else go get him. Maybe it's Devin. You know what I'm saying? But Jaron just got to. I guess he had to focus at 54. But then he got to worry about underperforming it over there too. If he hop into one of those big fights with one of those tough guys at the top, he got to worry about underperforming either way. But at least he won't be dehydrated and he won't have to cut so much weight at 54. He just wouldn't have to. It's gonna be interesting to see how Boots' career pans out at 54. You said Boots can't get other champs to play ball. He might as well take it to 54, especially if he's sparring Canelo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard rumors that he's supposed to be sparring Canelo. I'm not sure how true that is, but I guess I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask YSM. Is that true? But yeah, I'm hearing rumors that he's. I mean, honestly, that'd be a good guy for Canelo to prepare for Crawford. Boots probably gonna be styling on his ass too in camp, honestly. But um, yeah, that's probably the only guy you could probably really get to kind of imitate a Crawford because Boots Ennis could fight both sides, and Boots Ennis is actually one of those guys that can probably do a lot of shit like Crawford. So yeah, but they're gonna have to get Boots a lot of money for that because I don't really like that, man. Don't be going up in there and trying to help Canelo, dude. What you on, bro? Unless they give you like 10 million or something, then I ain't trying to hear it, dog. Don't be helping Canelo out. It's USA versus Mexico, man. What you on? Oh, I missed the super chat. My bad, bro. Hold up. This StreamYard is kind of weird on this right now. Shit. Salute to Hollow Ninja for the super chat. He says Tio should fight Boots. Boots should fight Tio. The outcome will determine if both these clowns were really ready for Bud Crawford at the beginning. I mean, look, man, I'm cool either way, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you a different scenario, but neither one of them ready for Bud either way, dog. You know what I'm saying? Them dudes ain't, man, come on, man. Nah, nah, they ain't beating no Bud. Especially Tio. Especially Tio, man. He ain't, come on, man. Teofimo gets smoked by Crawford. Keyshawn was whooping on dude. How you gonna beat Bud and you can't even beat Bud's little bro? You know what I'm saying? You can't even beat Keyshawn. Like Keyshawn was beating your ass in sparring when I saw that. And that's just sparring, but man, he had your number, dog. You couldn't do nothing with him. You know what I'm saying? So nah, man. He can't. That was just the cloud chase, bro. He cloud chasing all the black fighters, and what he's probably doing, he's cloud chasing the black fighters, and he's getting all the racist Latino fans to get on board with it. Cause he the one that made this thing about like race with the bananas and the monkey talk and all that shit. He kind of started that bullshit. So whatever happens to him happens. Hold up, I gotta take this off for now. You said Boots is a known ducker, but he ain't swerving T.O. Oh man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if Boots is a ducker. You know what I'm saying? Because what he wants to do personally, kind of over Boots Ennis need to do some shit for the fans. That's what he went wrong. Him standing at 47, that's kind of where he went wrong. If he had initially just hopped right in there, if he felt like he could beat him, honestly, but if he had hopped in there right in there with Virgil, then it wouldn't be none of this. But I told you guys, Golden Boy saw that right time, and they saw that Kukachan fight, and they was like, "Yeah, man, let's get him right now in 3 months." It was like a 3 month turnaround. And they ain't trying to get Boots to hop right back in there and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and of course, Boots was like, "Nah," and now it's looking bad for him. Now he don't have that. I want all the smoke mystique anymore. He don't got that no more. You said Tio want to be on roids and fight Bud. Tio just looking for a big payday, man. He's just looking for big. There's no Latino fighters in boxing right now that has the big juice, right? Outside of Canelo, what Latino fighters really rocking like that? Benavidez, but he's a bigger guy. But what smaller Latino fighter is really rocking like that for him to kind of fight? There ain't none. There's none but black fighters. You know what I'm saying? If Teofimo really feeling like he the shit though, he should be coming for Keyshawn. That's who he should really be targeting. Keyshawn Davis. That's who he should be targeting. Because to me, he don't stand a chance against Boots. That Boots should be able to beat him pretty easily. You know what I'm saying? Honestly. But because Boots is a natural 47 pounder. Tio's not even a natural 47 and none of that. Boots should be able to really just beat him. But Tio should be coming for Keyshawn. Keyshawn chasing Tio. Tio don't want no smoke with him. Dude, beating up on your pops and shit, like, and you don't want no smoke with him, dog. So this all could just be clout chasing. He probably knew it was a chance that Boots Ennis, because they see what we see. So they probably knew it was a chance that Boots Ennis wasn't going to be at 47 for too long. They paying attention to what's going on. These dudes, Barrios fighting Pacquiao, and Norman Jr.'s fighting Sasaki and shit. So I mean, they see this stuff too. So they probably took it upon themselves, like, yeah, yeah, let's try to see if we get them to fight. Make it look like these black fighters ducking me. We know he can't. He gonna struggle to make the weight. It's a game. You said Boots can't beat Bud? Nah. You said Tio calls out. That's what I'm telling you, bro. He calling out Bud and Boots. He ain't calling out Virgil though. You right about that. He ain't calling out Virgil. That's because the black fighters the ones that got the most buzz. Remember, if you've been around long enough, it was a narrative that black fighters didn't sell and all this other stuff. But I mean, come on, man. Ryan Garcia don't be trying to fight no other Latinos like that. I'm surprised they him and Rolly fought. You said fighting Boots don't mean big payday, Bud. He could fight anybody and still get 10 million. That's the deal he had with Turkey. 30 million, 3 fights. Oh, that's what it was? Mm. Well, shit. I don't know, man. Them other guys ain't put in the work yet to get those type of paydays. You said it seemed like Boots fire gone? Man, when, things change when these dudes got something to lose, man. You don't really see who a fighter really is until he becomes a champion. That's when you really learn about a fighter. When they become a champion. You gonna see how they move when they become a champion. When they only come up, of course they're gonna wanna, say the certain things and all that. But when they become champion, we're gonna see if the energy stays the same. Of course it wanes as they get older and shit like that, because what am I looking like calling out everybody? You know what I'm saying? I'm the king. I'm on top of the mountain. But you learn about a fighter truly when they first win their first world title, and then how they move afterwards. You said Boots hasn't proven himself yet. Yeah, I'm still waiting too, bro. Teofimo ain't the fight to really show us that, hey, all right, Boots that guy. It's the step to 54, because then that's gonna show if he's really a pound for pound caliber fighter. In order to be an all-time great, you damn near got to be a pound for pound caliber guy. If you not a heavyweight, you damn near got to be a pound for pound guy to be considered an all-time great. That's just in my opinion. I mean, how could you not? Well, you know what I'm saying? You'll be leaning more towards the front of the pound for all-time great list. If you were one of the top pound for pound guys in your era, and you was in that for the majority of your era, then you're more towards the front of the all-time great list in my book. But if you got a sat in one weight class, um, then depending on whatever, you may not be like in my top 10. Because pound for pound to me shows me that you a real bad motherfucker. And then regardless of how big, how small you were or whatever, you still can do the same thing against bigger guys. So to me, that's a bad motherfucker. Versus a dude like Hagler or Triple G. And I love Hagler. I think Hagler's one of the greatest of all time, but he sat in one weight class. Maybe because back then, it was a little different. But when we talk Triple G or something like that, is Triple G an all-time great? I don't know. Triple G did say a few things that was questionable. He didn't really move up to 68 till much, much later in his career. Um, by the time he was already done. But in his prime, he sat at 160, just sat there. Now, if he had moved up to 68, then I'll put Triple G higher on the all-time great list. I mean, I gotta get Triple G credit. I gave Triple G shit for years because I've been fighting with his fans for a long time, but he did his thing, and it's not easy to consistently do that for that long, all the way from the amateurs all the way as a professional. So regardless of who he was fighting, because I used to really criticize his resume and the guys he was fighting, because I felt like those dudes had nothing for him. You know what I'm saying? He was feasting on cans. He was feasting on bums. You know what I'm saying? But for Boots, man, this is when his pound for pound journey begins. You got to move up in weight, dog. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel you, dog. Like I'm still looking for it's something I'm waiting for from Boots too. And I think we're gonna see it at 54. We're gonna see it at 54. You said you don't care who does it, but you want T.O. face in the dirt. See, I mean, that's what I don't. I feel you, bro. I'm indifferent about it. I feel both ways about it. But I would like to see him. I mean, he's gonna get his ass kicked, bro. Sandro Martin dropped him and all that, and you know what I'm saying? Like, T.O. has some really good performances, especially against like Josh Taylor, who's fighting. I think he's fighting tomorrow. But I think Josh Taylor was on his last legs at that weight. Not to say it was an excuse, because T.O. did put up a good performance, but um, I would like to see him get his ass kicked. He needs his ass beat, man. You said Triple G surpassed Bernard Hopkins in defense. That win is the call. Oh, well, but Bernard Hopkins, I think you got to put him on there for like different reasons, a multitude of different reasons. I mean, you ain't gonna never see a fucking 50-year-old, or how old was B Hop when he was still a champion and shit, fighting at that level, bro. You know, you gotta put B Hop on there just for a multitude of reasons. You say you you say you want him slept. Boots was the guy to do it, man. Salute to everybody in the building. Smash that like button for your boy, man. You said Boots fans hype him up. I don't be seeing no. I don't know. I don't really see too many like Boots fans like that. Like when I see Boots fans, I assume they like Philly dudes. I just assume they Philly guys. Oh, boxing nerd. Salute to boxing nerd. Yeah. Yeah, we just talking about Boots, man. You know, what should he do? I think he should just go to 54 and begin his real journey. You know what I'm saying? This is when it's gonna really begin for Boots at 154 pounds. Sat at 47 for too long anyway. Ain't nothing down there. And the guys that's champions are running from him. Honestly, we gotta acknowledge that. The fuck Barrios is fighting a 16-year-old, no, 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao with a 16 age gap, 16-year age gap, bro. Almost 20 years older. Like, come on, man. Fighting Pacquiao, dog. You know what I'm saying? How did Pacquiao hop right back into boxing and get a world title shot? I mean, I guess that's what happens when you build a legacy. You can come back and do shit like that. So that's why I told you guys, been telling you guys for years, when these guys built these legacies, this is what they're able to do. Come back at almost 50 years old and still get a nice big payday to ride the rest of your life out. This is why I always said legacy was important and shit. But back then, when we was arguing with the Spence fans, what was they saying? Oh man, we just get the money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, man, it's about legacy, dude. You better go up there and do this shit. So you can be like Mike Tyson and Roy Jones fighting in their 50s, making a nice payday playing around in the ring. Because people know who you are. There's still a demand just for people to see you. Because they remember how great you was. That's why Floyd Mayweather was able to do what he was doing for the long that those play fights. Built a legacy, bro. Boots needs to start building that legacy. Salute to Baskerog for the super chat. He says, greeting from the mean streets of North Omaha. T.O. versus Boots is 50-50. Regardless, I'm here for it. So you think it's 50-50? I don't see that. I don't see no way T.O. beats Boots, bro. Unless Boots is weight drained and he's just not, you know what I'm saying? That's the only way. Because T.O. do got talent now. I'm not going to hate and say he can't fight and shit. He could fight and shit, but we've seen him struggle against lesser guys than Jaron Boots Ennis, smaller guys than Jaron Boots Ennis. We just seen it, bro. You know what I'm saying? And guys like Barbosa is just simply too slow. Boots Ennis is not slow at all. He's damn near too fast. Like you need to slow your pace of your punches and shit. People get your timing down. Wait, hold up. Super Hollow Ninja for another super chat. He says, place my bets on Bud for round 11 TKO versus Canelo. Bud will break Canelo down systematically and then take him out. Bud can do everything Canelo can. Bro, come on, man. That's why these guys, I'm telling you, they're not going to show up this Sunday, bro. When we have the Canelo Crawford debate this Sunday, be sure to stop in for episode 5. They're not going to show up, dude. They're just not going to show up. It's going to be, it's too much smoke. They don't have a strong enough argument. Only thing they can do is sit in the chat and say, "Well, it's too much weight," or "Crawford's going to get KO'd." That's the only thing they can say. But literally, Bud can do everything this dude can do. You know what I'm saying? That's how talented of a fighter Crawford is. He's like a sing song in this motherfucker. He got all the styles. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. He could do what he want to do to Canelo, dude. If the weight ain't gonna be a factor, which I don't think it will, you could look in Canelo's eyes and tell, right? That's what sold it for me. The look in Canelo's eyes. It was a look of um it was more of a look of like wow. Like it wasn't like, man, this guy. It wasn't like one of the he had a different look at him about Crawford. But some you got some fans out there that really still believe it. So I want to see them come in the chat and we go. I'm gonna put them on the screen. We go do a little debate and see what they got. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see if I can come up with something for Canelo. It's hard, bro, because he got two left feet. The foundation in any sport is having good footwork, and that's something that left Canelo probably about 2, 3 fights ago. The feet that he did have, and even though Crawford's 38, I would imagine he still got better footwork naturally than Canelo Alvarez, bro. So I mean, yeah, we got there's plenty of time until that fight comes. We still got a whole summer to deal with. And that fight will be towards the end of the summer, so um, we got a lot to talk about. Wait, you said Canelo said he fights in Vegas or nowhere. You said T.O. is talented, but he's dumb as a box of rocks. Yeah, T.O. is talented, man, but does he got the best IQ? No, I don't think so. I think his IQ is solid, but he's a lot more on like athleticism and just being really talented. I'm not sure if he's a fighter that, let's just say he was fighting Boots, and Boots was a healthy Boots at 47. Will he be able to outsmart Jaron Ennis? Will he be able to adapt to Jaron Boots Ennis? Because the dudes that he do adapt against, dudes are pretty straightforward fighters. They're not really dynamic and versatile like a guy like Jaron Ennis, who could switch hit and all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? He could do some shit. Salute to Truly Israel for the super chase. He says, salute to the dojo. How many times you seen T.O. show up against ranked fighters? If Boost doesn't focus on defense, it could be a long night. So some of you guys think T.O. got a chance, huh? Um, I don't T.O. Man, his reach. You know what I'm saying? Boost Ennis got long reach. They have similar like approaches to the game, the way they fight. They really flashy fighters, but Boots is like times 10, like times 5. You know what I'm saying? And he's been fighting bigger guys, naturally bigger guys than T.O. has. So I think T.O.'s only advantage in that fight will be the fact that if Jerron Boots Ennis is weight drained, that's his biggest weapon in the fight, besides his talent. That's just my opinion. Oh, you said T.O. not beating Boots. Nah, he ain't, but T.O. got to cloud chase somebody. And really, truthfully, this energy for Boots didn't come around until they seen him show vulnerabilities against Kukachan. But Kukachan is, I would, like I said about 12 times already. Kukachan is probably the best guy at that weight class that don't got a world title. You know what I'm saying? So I want to go fight Kukachan. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. It's a high risk, low reward fight. That dude's actually really good, and he ain't gonna get nothing for it. So I'll just go try to fight Boots because I know he on his way out. Yeah, Boots is a nightmare for T.O. He is. He's a nightmare for him, man. You said super exaggeration of this. I don't know, man. Boots ain't ducking T.O., man. Eddie Hearn did him a disservice with that statement, though. I'll tell you that. It didn't help Boots' cause. I don't think Boots is afraid of T.O. I don't think Boots is ducking T.O. But Boots Ennis probably is looking at 47 like, man, what reason do I got to stay? If I can't unify the division, that was my whole motivation on really cutting this weight and, doing what I got to do to make the weight and fighting at the division. Now it's like, Teofimo, I don't know. I might as well go to 54, man, because I don't feel like cutting weight and, you know, quote unquote underperforming against that asshole. You say you don't think Boost can beat Arrow? Mm, nah. I think Boost could beat Spence. Now, it depends on what Spence we talking about, but based off like the Ugas Spence, and I think Boost can get him. He probably won't have it like Crawford, but I think Boost will eventually get him. Because Spence will bring the fight to you. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's still a lot of questions with Ennis though. See, with Crawford, we've seen Crawford fight like a lot of different guys, a lot of different styles. Um, we've seen him in a lot of situations, except for really many bad situations. We didn't see Bud in too many bad situations to where he's hitting the deck and he's on the ropes and dudes chasing him down. He can't, we didn't really see Bud in too many bad situations. And arguably his worst performance was the fight against Mijamov in like years. So, and that wasn't even a bad performance. It just wasn't his best. So for Boots, man, we seen that fight against Kukuchan. That raised a lot of. They're like, whoa, Boots Ennis is actually human. So I don't know. Like Boots couldn't adapt against this guy. He couldn't. You know what I'm saying? See, Crawford would have figured a guy like Kukuchan out. But Boots Ennis, the first fight, he just couldn't he couldn't really get the guy. And then the second fight was more or less the same. But um, it was just a tough fight. Kukuchan's a bad dude, man. That's the way I could take it from it. Kukuchan's a lot better than we thought, and then Boots Ennis still got work to do. Salute to Truly Israel for another super chat. He says, I see T.O. versus Boots going 12 rounds. Don't see T.O. running from Boots. It's just a lack of defense from Boots, but he will still win on the cards. Yeah, I mean, T.O. ain't got great defense either, bro. And if I'm honest, Teofimo be looking beat up in fights a lot more than Boots do. And Boots Ennis, he do get hit, but he be eating them shits, man. When T.O. gets hit, he be looking afraid. You know what I'm saying? He be looking afraid, and you know what I'm saying? He bruised real easily. Boots Ennis snapping with some of them hard jabs. He gonna be swelling up real quick. Bruised up and swollen. Quick. Cause he gonna be getting hit by the naturally bigger guy. Um, the longer, stronger, faster, more athletic, much fast twitch muscle fibers, all that. And T.O.'s twitchy himself, but I would say Boots is more twitchy. And he's the bigger guy. It's really a good matchup on paper. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's a really good matchup on paper. Salute to YSM Sports Media in the building. Y'all go subscribe to my boy YSM Sports Media, the best boxing media journalist on the East Coast and soon the whole wide world. He said, I've seen two dropped by two smaller non-punchers. Y'all got to chill. Yeah, you see T.O. dropped by two, man, that's what I'm saying. He got dropped by Sandro. Who else dropped him? I forgot. That's what I'm saying, man. The heat for Boost is pretty real. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Hollow Ninja for the super chat. He says T.O. is a weird fighter, does bad against bad fighters and great against great fighters. I got T.O. winning since he was in there with Loma and Josh. Nah, man. I mean, I see what you mean. The T.O. shows up, in the big fights, he shows up. But even though Josh Taylor was taller, I don't even know if his reach was longer. Um, and Loma's naturally a featherweight. Loma's a super featherweight in my opinion. Just was a blown up lightweight, and he was still kicking ass. But um, as far as Boots, bro, that's different, dog. Boots Ennis is like what 5'10", 5'9", 5'10", or something like that. He's a bigger guy, longer guy, more athletic. Teal's athletic too, but Boots is even more athletic. He's faster. And I'm just thinking of a healthy Boots at the weight. I'm not thinking about the weight drain Boots. Um, and he'll figure Tio out. Now, will Tio be able to overcome and adapt what Boots is doing? Kukuchan was a totally different guy, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think Kukuchan to beat Tio. He seems like a really cerebral fighter that comes up with really good game plans. And he had a really, really good game plan against Boots both times. He just couldn't get the victories. But he had an excellent game plan. He had a good chin. And he got a lot of skills. He got some skills. Um, I don't know if Tio could take a Boots punches because he will get hit in the fight. Just because he was doing that against a slow Barbosa, he ain't gonna be doing that against Boots, bro. A dynamic fighter with a dynamic punch variety. Um, that's a yeah, that's a to me, I don't see it's a fun fight, and there's a lot of reason like hardcore fans want to see it as far as black boxing fans, but ah, I don't know, man. That's a bad fight if Theo, man. I think he's just clout chasing, man. And if he really do want to fight Boots, it's because of the fact that Boots is on his last legs at the weight. Yeah, and Cambosis beat his ass, man. Come on, how did Cambosis beat him? How did that happen, bro? You see, John may have struggled with Kukuchan, but he didn't like lose against Kukuchan. How the hell did Teofimo lose against George Cambosis? And I like George Cambosis, but how did Tio lose against him, bro? He wasn't supposed to lose against that guy. He just wasn't. Salute to Demonte Walker for the super chat. Hold up. He says Canelo refuses to fight Bud nowhere, only in Vegas. Why is that? Oh, that what's going on right now? See, Canelo's a diva. That's why. He's a diva. He want to have all the cars. He probably gonna have a small ring and all that. He's a diva. He gotta have something his way. You know what I'm saying? He's a diva fighter, bro. And that's why I don't hold guys like him in super high regard, like a Roy Jones or somebody, a guy who may have took some losses and shit. I don't even hold him in nowhere near those type of guys' regard. Like even like an Oscar. Like I just don't. He's a great fighter and I got respect, but I can't hold him in those type of regards like some of those like throwback, thoroughbred, all the smoke. It don't matter when, it don't matter where, Kumite fighters. Like I just no, he's just not one of those dudes. Like Bob said, he's a businessman. Who is he? Bob questioning which Canelo's going to show up. He's a businessman now. Bob Arum knows what he's seeing too. Even though he's 90, he knows boxing. He said it's over for this guy. He don't even, Crawford's a true professional. So I mean, we gonna talk a lot about that this weekend. You say you guys got Tio has no chance. No, he don't, man. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't even Tio can't even beat. He's struggling with Cambosis. How you go beat a guy like Kukachan? How you go beat Brian Norman? You know what I'm saying? You said just last. I don't know, man. I still feel like Boots needs a good PR person or something, dude. Because he did say he made the weight just fine. He did say that, bro. You ain't lying. He said that at the post fight. And now we hearing things about him worried about underperforming at the weight. It just doesn't sound good, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of like contradictions and shit, and like, but maybe at that time he was motivated to really unify the division. He thought those guys probably go fight him. But whatever the case, boxing fans look for any loophole, man. They look for any loophole, anything you say. And Boots don't be saying the right things. He don't. Eddie Hearn don't either. He should know better. He the talker. You said Cambosos was 5 years ago. That was 5 years ago. Really? No way that was 5 years ago, dude. There ain't no way that was 5 years ago. Ain't no way that fight was 5 years ago. That much time went by that fast? Hell no. Hell no. I know. It ain't been that long. Salute to Hollow Ninja for the super chat. He says Canelo advantage. He said Canelo wants Vegas for advantage. Judges, for real, for real. Yeah, he do. But man, hell no. I'm sick of Canelo and his advantages. That's so weak. That's weak to me. And that's always been weak to me. Fighters looking for advantages and shit. People just cheating. Professionals looking for like. I mean, I guess when you at the at the top, every little thing matters and shit. When you like world class, but I don't know, man. I'm just old school, bro. If you really that good, you don't gotta do nothing. Just do what you do. Like for basketball, SGA, one of my favorite players behind Ant Man. But one thing I cannot stand about SGA is that he be flopping. Like, why are you fucking flopping, bro? You too good to be flailing and flopping your skinny ass around the court, bro. Stand strong and play fucking ball. You know what I'm saying? All that flopping shit is weak to me, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's similar to some of the stuff that some of these diva fighters be doing, like Tank and Canelo, putting rehydration clauses and all this stuff on these guys, and just to win and shit. Like shit, weak as hell. You're not Kumite fighters, bro. You just regular prize fighters. You're not the guy that could fight in a blood sport. I don't need nothing. Just put me in there and I'll take him out. You're not that guy, bro. You tell Boobs to take Viagra for. Oh man. You said Team Ennis is the biggest scam in boxing? Come on, man. Come on, man. Nah, man. I can't say that at all, bro. What y'all? Come on, man. What? Come on. He's the biggest scam in boxing. We've seen much worse than Boost, y'all. Come on. Ain't no way, man. We can't say that, man. What if Boost, all right, let's just say this. What if Boost goes on and becomes that guy, bro? He goes up to 54, right? He beats all the guys there and unifies the division. Like, you know what I'm saying? We can't do that to this kid just yet. Now, I will admit, they need a better PR person. I think the boogeyman mystique has since died down now. So now he got to go up to 54 and start that new chapter. You said 34 fights, Boots' signature win. But you got to remember, Boots had the same manager and everything as Crawford, bro. Like, Boots Ennis didn't have the best. He couldn't get guys to fight him or none of that stuff. You got to remember that, man. You know what I'm saying? Boots Ennis had a hard time getting fights. He had a real hard time getting fights. We got to acknowledge that. When these guys like Boo Andre had a hard time getting meaningful guys in the ring until he was damn near too old. We haven't seen Boo Boo since. Yeah, Boots is depleting himself at 47, bro. Yeah, I don't care what he said. I don't care what he said, because now his actions is speaking otherwise. Because if you was fine at the weight, then it wouldn't be no quote unquote underperforming worries. You know what I'm saying? But so clearly, yeah, you did have trouble making that weight, bro. Come on, man. You've been there for a long fucking time. And you always been a big welterweight too. You said they tried Crawford. You talking about? But actually, both of these guys tried Bud. Boots was just a little bit more respectful about it. You know what I'm saying? Boots was more respectful. Teofimo was totally disrespectful. Boots did what a young fighter supposed to do. So I'm not mad at Boots for that. I didn't think Boots was ready for him, but that's what a young fighter's supposed to do, bro. He supposed to go after the old lion in a weight class. You know what I'm saying? That's what he did. What he was supposed to do. He didn't move. Well, he did jump the fucking sanction body, and Virgil didn't want to take the title shot. Man, they didn't really want to deal with Crawford, bro, and for good reason. I can't even be mad at it. Bud is a bad motherfucker, man. And while they felt like they could probably beat him, could I really beat him? You know what I'm saying? This is Bud Crawford right here. He has the aura right now. Bud Crawford got the aura, man. That's what Canelo felt when he was face to face when he felt that aura, bro. He felt it. This is a dude said 100 man versus a gorilla. I knocked the silverback out a little while ago in front of his bed. He was trolling, I think, but he said he knocked out a gorilla. Like he said he don't need 100 people. He said I'll knock the motherfucker out. That's the type of dude we're dealing with, bro. I can't wait to see if these guys gonna show up Sunday, man. Hold on, I can't see the chat. Streaming, I got a new feature. I probably gonna have it open this weekend where I can have a chat on the screen, like on them streamers be having. You said Karen went heads up with Boots. Karen is good, bro. I think Kukachan is really good. I want to see him against somebody else though. I want to see Kukachan fight again. I want to see him fight like one of the other guys in the weight class, but they might be running from that dude. They seen what he did to Boots. They're like, hell no. He gave Boots a hard time. I'm good. What? You said the Knicks down 2-0? Indiana, baby. That's right. Indiana, man. That's my state. Indianapolis. We about to. I don't know. I'm rooting for Minnesota because Minnesota my team. But I always root for Indiana and Chicago because those are my home teams. But my favorite team is Minnesota. But I don't think they go beat OKC. OKC like my second favorite team. I don't think they go beat the Timberwolves. I don't think they go beat them this year. I think it's SGA's time. His team is just ridiculous, and I think they're a good matchup for the Wolves. And I think it's gonna come down to OKC and Indiana. That's what it's gonna be. And in that matchup, I'm gonna be rooting for Indiana, of course. It's gonna be lit out here if the Pacers win. But that's crazy though, man. Salute to that, man. I've been keeping up with the basketball. So they 2-0 now. That's crazy. The New York Knicks did good this year though. Karen put up a better performance, in my opinion, against Boots than Mom did against Bud. You say you think Lopez wins easily? Come on, man. Ain't no way, bro. YSM says, I'm talking about fighters making weight in general. It's not about just cutting the weight. It's about putting back on and feeling good. That's right. That's true, man. But it's time for Boost to move up, man. You said Boots versus Tio 50-50. Well, hopefully one day Tio can make it to 54. Because I think that's where Boots is probably going to be headed next, man. And that's when we can really see Boots, what he's really about. I think that's when we're going to learn a lot about Boots at 54. That's when we going to really learn if Boots is a pound for pound fighter, if he's going to be on a journey to all-time greatness, and if he's going to be the next guy after Terrence Crawford. Or one of the next guys anyway. Because I think Keyshawn is on his way. And of course, Shakur Stevenson. Smash the like button for your boy. We go see what happens though. I don't like I said, I don't think Eddie Hearn did Boots any favors by kind of coming out here talking like that. That's it's not a good look. Um, you got to make your people look good. You know what I'm saying? You got to make your people look good, bro. And I don't know. That wasn't good from Eddie Hearn. So best move for Boots, in my opinion, at this point, if he's not going to fight Tio, just go up to 54 and face one of the top guys up there and get things going there. And then eventually fight Virgil Ortiz within, 2 fights or whatever. Fight a guy, whoever, and then, try to fight Virgil real soon and get that thing going. Because that could possibly be a 2 or 3 fight series or something, depending on how those dudes match up with each other. So that's Boots. That's what I think should be next for Boots. You know what I'm saying? Teofimo, he just go out to starve. You know what I'm saying? He just go out to starve unless he go fight Devin or he go fight Keyshawn. But yeah, you guys, that's the video. Should Boots go to 54 or should he fight Tio? Salute to everybody in the building. Hit that like button. Um, we go do another live stream this Sunday, Canelo versus Crawford, episode 5, the debate. We go see if we get these guys in here on the panel, and we can see if we can get some real debates going on how Canelo could beat Crawford, and amongst other things that happen in boxing leading up to this weekend. But salute to everybody once again. Much love to all you guys. Salute to my boy YSM in the building tonight. Y'all go subscribe to YSM Sports Media. Thank everybody who donated to the dojo today. Your contribution is greatly appreciated. I love you, Mom. Peace out.